What must start-uppers do to avoid getting their ideas stolen by potential partners? Hmm. I have to tell you, first of all, my name is David, and my business website is dms.blue. I'm a digital marketing specialist. And even though I am a digital marketing specialist, I've worked literally with hundreds of business owners and startup founders over the last 20 plus years. I can honestly tell you, somebody who's worked with more marketing agencies and ad agencies and worked for so many independent contractors and startups, I've yet to see one, not one, that has had their ideas stolen by potential partners or employees. Not one. Nada. In a lot of cases, the company, they really, really think that their idea is brilliant and nobody's ever done anything like it before. And I've yet to see that. I've just never, ever seen it. Never. Um, I've seen e-commerce companies, app developers, and 9 times out of 10, what makes them unique, if in fact they are, is not their product, it's not their offering, it's the level of quality and service and determination and drive that they have in actually making their idea become a reality. That's really what differentiates them. I've consulted with e-commerce companies. E-commerce is not a new idea by any stretch of the imagination, but ones that actually make money are. And there's very, very few. App developers, there's literally more apps out there now, I think, than there are people. Um, and the overwhelming majority don't make a penny because they just cannot compete. Um, so what do start-uppers do to avoid getting their ideas stolen by potential partners? It's really not worth worrying about, in my humble opinion. What you want to do is make sure that your startup and your idea as a business is just working so efficiently and managed so well, and marketed so well that the other people don't have interest in it and could not run the business. If they took your brilliant idea, they couldn't run it. They couldn't do it. And I mean, let's look at, startups that do e-commerce. What's new about that? Online shopping. That's not new, but there's a million companies doing it. And the reason is that some companies are just easier to navigate for the customer than others are. There are a million POS systems, point of sale systems, for restaurants and retail outlets. And some are just more efficient than others. So you want to make your product or idea or service so easy to operate, so efficient, so cost effective, and so well organized that no one else can take it. I've signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, with companies that I was working with, companies I was working for, companies I was advising, and even those I was volunteering for, so I could negotiate over a little stipend, part of the contract. Um, every single time, without exception, none of them had any ideas or product or service or anything that was original. Never. It was just that some of these companies were operated more efficiently than others, and some were doing marketing a little bit smarter than others to make them more aggressive, or they had a brand that was cute or caught on faster than others, and that's what made them competitive. So that's what you really want to focus in on. How many newsletter providers are there out there? More than we could ever list. But MailChimp is number one because they have the cute little monkey character, and it's supposed to be easier to use than all the others, more efficient. And yet there's an infinite number of newsletter providers out there, Constant Contact and many, many, many others. So it's really how you run it, not what your idea is. And really, if your employees and partners are happy with the money they're making and the company is structured intelligently and run efficiently, then they're not going to want to take the idea. They'll just say, look, I found something that's a better fit for me, or I need to make more money for my family, or we need to move or whatever, but they're not going to have it out for you. NDAs usually are not worth the paper they're written on. If somebody wants to take your idea and they work for you, there's really not a great deal you can do about it. Most startups don't have large legal departments and can't really afford to go to court over ideas. So I would just really run the company as efficiently as possible. And most of the people don't want your ideas. They just want safe, secure, stable jobs. That's just my opinion as a digital marketing specialist who's been around for 20 years and worked for, advised, and consulted and volunteered for hundreds of companies. So anyway, I hope that that information is helpful, and have a great night.